done to prevent oxidation, rolling of the leaf forms shape of desired tea. During oxidation, also called fermentation, leaf enzymatically breaks down and then drying is done, which can be pan-fried or air drying. The process of curing as secondary oxidation is also applied, and finally grading to improve appearance, consistency of leaf size and taste. This briefly provides your experience in the processing unit at our factories. Over the years, tea plantations, in addition to natural forests and biodiversity, often provide opportunities for tours, testing, and to purchase processed tea. These take place in tea-producing areas. It has lately made tourism a thriving venture that connects to tourism sites in the national parks across the country to experience plantations of different varieties of tea, contributing tangibly to the local economy and host communities.
Uganda is a fairy tale. You climb up, and at the end, there is a wonderful new world. The scenery is different. The vegetation is different. Climate is different. And most of all, the people are different from anything elsewhere to be seen in the whole range of Africa. I say, concentrate on Uganda. For magnificence, for variety of form and color, for profusion of brilliant life, bird, insect, reptile, beast, and for vast scale.
East African Tea Trade Association was founded in 1957, and this body was formed essentially to promote the interests of the tea trade in Africa. So here we have the producers of tea, we have the brokers. Next, we also are looking at the buyers and exporters of tea. The other key members are warehousemen and packers of tea. So from that dimension, you can see that as a body, as an organization, we've been able to have all these members served across the board.
Tea is an important cash crop for this country. It is the number one foreign exchange earner, and it actually provides a livelihood to almost 10% of this country's population. Therefore, I think that we are doing an important role in ensuring that the farmers can continue to be able to grow this tea profitably, and that there are factories to process this tea, which create employment for our people, and which create even further industries which supply various materials to the factories.
The total number of hectares of factory suppliers who supply green leaf to Maramba Tea Factory is about 1,600 hectares. We have been members of EATTA since the inception, and we have seen the benefits of working with EATT, because the rules that govern the tea trade is what has assisted the tea business to be what it is at the moment.
Over the years, we have been fetching favorable prices. It's only that once we started fetching very good prices, then production hit the roof, whereby most of the farmers were encouraged to produce tea because it was quite profitable. I believe the duty is upon us to find for newer and fresher market for these teas which we claim to be produced en masse.
The East African Tea Trade Association runs one of the largest auctions in the world. In fact, it is the only multi-origin tea auction whereby we are serving 9 countries in the African region. That is namely Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC Congo, Madagascar, Mozambique, and Malawi. All these countries export their teas through Kenya, and importantly, their teas are brought to the auction for purposes of ensuring realizable competitive prices.
We have come from far, and as a tea industry, I would say we have done better than all the other agricultural related products. We have organized ourselves. We have governed our systems. We have also even brought in skills, because we have imported a lot of skills from outside, where we are changing even how things are being done.
We are happy that EATTA has been able to provide this kind of service, and in addition, providing other services such as lobbying, whenever there are various issues. Not just
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Which impact.
Good morning once again. We are about to proceed on with the next session. We are more or less getting towards the end. Despite being behind schedule, we'll see how we can make up for it. But every session is important, so we will accord the final facilitator to take us through the second breakaway session. And I therefore hand over this particular session to the chairman of this particular component. So Wanakabaza will take us through and introduce the presenter for this session. We'll try our best, I can see, to wrap up before noon, because then thereafter we have got to do our own housekeeping aspects before the minister closes this particular session for us. So that's the order we'll follow. We'll try to make it within 20 minutes, and then after 20 minutes we get into the wrap-ups, We'll also have the other members in the other breakaway sessions joining you immediately they're through with other sessions. So that's the way we'll proceed. Karibu, Chairman of the session.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for trying to come back on time. Now we are coming to the second session of our breakaway sessions, and Mr. Patrick Mwesige is presenting to us some solution that we may be interested in knowing about. However, because of our being late, time is constrained, so we propose that he can compress it in about 15 or so minutes so that we can have a question answer session, and then we prepare for the plenary where we shall be joined by the others so that we can share their conclusions and recommendations. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Patrick Mwesige. I'm from Kanara Solutions Limited. We are the authorized channel partner for IFS application systems. IFS stands for Industrial and Financial Systems. And it's a pleasure this morning to be with you, especially the tea fraternity in the region. I come from a background where my parents, at least on my mother's side, are tea growers, smallholder. So I understand a bit of tea from that perspective. But my role this morning is to share with you the possibilities and the advantages of deploying technology in improving the management of tea processes, especially from the auction through to the export markets. So this particular presentation is focusing on a segment of the value chain that moves from the auction floor up to your customers in Russia, in Europe, wherever that might be. So that is my focus for this morning. I'm trusting that the technology will bail me out. Maybe I don't see it moving. Okay, this is, because of the time, we are not going to take so much time, but I give you a small background about us, Kanara Solutions, and IFS, the solution providers and designers that we represent, a big company that has over 30 years experience in this industry with this kind of footprint in terms of employees, customers, users, and partners all over the world. So that is IFS. And more to that, to say that this particular system has been rated internationally. As you can see, the Gartner Group gave a rating in the year 2016 that by the end of 2015, IFS applications in the product-centric mid-ERP markets had been rated higher than most of the other providers within that breed, but that is a discussion for a different day. Now, in terms of footprint, this is where our solutions operate. We are in aviation, we are in oil and gas, we are in energy and utilities, we are in construction. Particularly for the tea industry, we have a manufacturing solution, we also have an export management solution, which is going to be the focus of this presentation. I would like to ask the gentleman on the wheel there to run a small video clip drawn from Akbar Brothers in Sri Lanka, and that is a case study for this benchmarking. They are the ones using this particular solution, and this is part of their brand. So let that run like for 1 or 2 minutes, then I'll proceed with the presentation.
Change and continually improve in order to be competitive. My name is Huzaifa Akbar Ali. I'm a director and family member of Akbar Brothers. We are the largest exporters of tea from Sri Lanka. All our factories are based here in Sri Lanka. We pack all our tea in the greater Colombo region. So we have 3 main facilities, and running that we have close to 1,000 employees. We export about 2.5 billion cups of tea per year. That is about 3 times as much as our nearest competitor. We started working with IFS in 2010. When we decided to look out for an ERP, we had 5-6 systems running in our office, all having the same information fed in different formats. IFS always delivered. And this is something that led to a very good and a very strong implementation for our company.
IFS affect me in a very good manner. It is easy for me to do planning than earlier. I am Martin Silva and I am the Deputy Production Manager here. I can say IFS save 1 day per week for me, and I am very happy to use IFS, and it is an amazing tool.
In terms of business intelligence, now we have everything in one database. So it makes it much easier for us to analyze profits. Spending less time on menial work is helping us concentrate on the customer, and that is what counts. We are running 3 standard applications, which is the finance module, distribution module, and manufacturing module. We also run the customized modules of tea auction and tea blending, which was made specifically for us.
I have more time to find the details, so my accuracy level is high. Hi, I am Anuradha Ratnayaka. I am working in costing department. This system makes our work easier than before. It's saving a lot of time. It's helping me to do my job better, and now I am stress-free.
Wherever we came to a challenge, IFS was always accommodating. They went that extra mile to find the correct solution for us to make it work. I'm sure as time goes on, there will be even more challenges that we face, and we will have to continually evolve with that. And I hope that IFS will be a part of that journey.
Great, thank you very much. That is just a bit of the flavor of the actual users of the system in Sri Lanka. This particular slide gives you a bit of the flavor of the key pain points from an export perspective of what this solution can actually do in enhancing your operations. Especially with relation to the Akbar brothers whom we have collaborated with, this particular solution was able to enable them to manage and consolidate all the information about the tea export in one application, meaning that everyone in the company is seeing the same thing. Actually, Huzaifa told me that there were several versions of the same truth. The people in tea testing, those in the warehouse, those in finance are talking about the same thing, but they are different things. So the solution enabled to consolidate so that everyone in the company is looking at the same thing. There are complicated customs and shipping procedures that could also be a problem in making sure that all the documentation is well aligned. This is all consolidated in this system, including barcodes, including packaging materials and labels, and all that has been consolidated in this operation. The risk that processes of manual procedures can create to a company have also been substantially addressed as a result of deploying this particular system. So right from when a pro forma invoice is issued to when the invoice has been given to the customer of an export destination, all that information and process is consolidated in the same application. And therefore meeting the ever-changing demands, managing the different blends, and as we'll see subsequently, the controls and the authorities in Sri Lanka about standards and the blends and the way they are managed and the way the information is kept is very, very strict. And that has been all enabled in this solution. So, generally, process manufacturing, mixed mode manufacturing, end-to-end, process transparency has been enabled. The warehouse staff and the tea testing staff, the ones managing the blend, are all communing on the same information and therefore able to deal with whatever challenges that they get fairly quickly. Regulatory compliance has also been enabled as a result of this, because in Sri Lanka, for example, we've been told that any tea that is exported, the blend and its sample have to be kept by the company for up to 3 years. And at any point, the tea board can come to question, to validate, and they should be able to retrieve this information and show it to the authorities without a problem. So what have been the benefits to these international tea brands? We have seen that there is shortened production life cycle because there is easy collaboration, rapid customer order fulfillment, streamlined compliance with standards. All of these standards, I heard the gentleman who was speaking, I think from Kayonza, about the issues of quality. These standards you see here, HSCCP, FDA, USDA, REACH, these relate to the international markets where these teas are being exported. And this compliance has been enabled in using and monitoring, especially the flow of goods and the flow of the exports out of Sri Lanka from Akiba Brothers by this system. Standardized reports have been also developed, and an integration, especially with the revenue system. One of the advantages, of course, that we found out there is that this particular company is able to import, for example, some packaging materials, certain flavors, and other forms of herbal teas in tax-free and blend and then export. But they must be accountable to the revenue authority for each and every import of any additive they bring into the tea market. And this integration with ASCUDA, which is a revenue authority management system, has been very helpful in terms of that compliance. So I have just a few minutes left from the time allocated. This is the workflow of how this system operates, right from the auction up to when the tea goes onto the ship destined to whatever markets it's going. The first segment there is demand planning, okay? And that is on the backside just before you get to auctioning and so forth, because the company must know if we sold 42 million kilograms last year, what are our sales going to look like in the next year? Then they plan accordingly, place orders, and of course sourcing of customers. But the segment that is going to concern us most this morning is the auction management. The system begins with the auction management, and I'm sure the people from Mombasa here would know better than myself because I'm not really a tea expert. It starts with the catalog. So the catalog that has been issued for auctioning a day ahead or 2 days ahead is digitized and uploaded into this system. So the tea testers receive the tea samples. As you know, they are delivered. The catalog comes with its tea samples, and then they are able on the system to choose what tea they are going to buy in what amounts and so forth on time, on real-time basis. Then they are also able to impute into this particular segment of the system the prices they are going to bid at or to buy at, and then submit this information for the auction. Now, once the records come in of the actual volumes that have been sold, still that same information is used now to inform the people in the warehouse of what stocks they should be expecting coming out of the auction hitting their warehouses. And the same is also used now to determine what blends and how the mixtures are going to be done subsequently, like we shall see. So tea auction management is enabled through this solution. The second issue that we need to think about here is blend management. Once, of course, they have acquired the various volumes of tea that they have been able to purchase, they look at the orders they have received from their customers, and they have to create the blends that are relevant for different markets. And the creation of different blends and the mixtures, the ratios, and all that is done initially here in the system. Then those mixtures are then relayed to the people on the production floor to be able to produce the volumes that are required and ultimately to go into the packing so that this can be exported. So blend management is also integrated in this system. Now blend processing, of course, once they have decided what blends they are going to come up with and what the customers require, this has to be processed on the factory floor. Different mixtures, different ratios, and so forth. And this IFS system does actually proceed into the manufacturing floor to deal with the issues of the blend processing. And as you can see here, you have issues of quality coming up as far as blend processing is concerned. Now, the qualitative aspects here will have been determined, and the user-defined control plans and checklists are also being checked. Configurable occurrences and severity and any detections to assess the risk levels associated with the quality are also determined through this process. As well, during the processing, there are different flavors that the Akiba brothers are delivering, just like you saw the picture there of some of the products they have. So there are imports of different flavors. There are herbs that may be used for certain products. All these are managed by looking at how the ratios and the mixtures are being done as far as this system monitoring and control is concerned. So a detailed analysis does actually take place of the delivery statistics on the herbs, on the flavors that have been brought in, and ultimately this goes up to the packing like we shall see. So there is value addition and packing as another process that is also handled here, and this relates to the different packagings, the different export destinations where this tea is going, the managing of the packaging materials themselves. All this is managed as a result of this application. And ultimately here you have workflow processes relating to value addition and packing of the stock, the shipment schedules, the different orders they have got from various customers, support for customer agreements, 300 degrees view of the customer and the shipment status.